First fight of the main card underway. Karl the Quiet Man Mcconway, representing SBG Charlestown in the black shorts with the red trim, taking on Quearney in the black shorts. And Karl Mcconway is perhaps one of the most active fighters on the island at the minute. Competed just last week at IUR.
Yeah, 6 days ago I was cage side calling a fight where he went through to hell and back over 3 rounds. He lost the first 2 rounds, ate a lot of headshots as he's doing right at the start here now. But the 3rd round he turned that fight on its head and landed lots of ground and pound. Both fighters were bloodied. That is a huge kick to the body from Quearney, and a hallmark of Karl Mcconway's game is that he will take a big shot in order to land his own. The Galway zombie, some have called him. But very confident grappler, big wrestler, purple belt in jiu-jitsu of course, and landed himself in the guard here. Querney has well, he's trying to climb that guard a little bit higher, possibly work into a high guard or even a triangle attempt. Body triangle from bottom. Not necessarily an offensive position, but he is trying to clamp down on those arms. Has tasted championship quality before, has Quearney, former CRC Bantamweight champion. Well, both guys have definitely won belts in other promotions, and Mcconway himself is a very experienced fighter. This would be his 19th amateur fight. Has won belts at bantamweight and flyweight in the Clan Wars promotion. But look at his body of work. Look at some of the guys he's fought. Patrick Doran, Oisin Fox, Hamilton Chinchak, Matthew Friel, Henry Corrigan, Podrick McGee, Caelan Loughran. No easy tasks there. Quearney trying to create the angle for himself a little bit. Quearney, of course, took a 5-year break from competing. He's ready to test himself now, and he wants just the best guys around, and you can see that by the way he's taken on a guy with so much experience. And the question has to be asked, is it an advantage or disadvantage that Karl Mcconway fought 6 days ago? He's still he was in a relative war in that fight, as you say, took some big shots, but his cardio is still going to be up to scratch. But could he be somewhat depleted from the fact that he had a difficult fight? We'll see if this fight goes into the later stages and the deeper waters. We'll see how it holds up, and he's always shown great conditioning, so it'll be interesting to see if that plays a factor as the fight goes forward. Nice work from Quearney to get back to the feet, but he's some big shots. Wow. Quearney had said that his game plan for this fight was to be on his bike, to nullify the wrestling. Oh, he's got in on a guillotine. That looks tight underneath the neck. And Mcconway doing very well. He got the 2-on-1 and defended. Oh, what a transition to the back from Quearney. Slick and quick with the back take was Quearney, but then beautiful scramble work from... The arm could be caught on the way out. Yeah. Triangle is possibly there. He hasn't got it. Oh, he's cinching up the triangle. If he creates a little bit more of an angle for himself. Yeah, he's not fully tight. He's not over the ankle just yet. Although now it's a little deeper now. It's a little uncomfortable. Mcconway keeping him squared up, keeping the fighter in front of him. He does not want Quearney turning out to that corner. Oh, it looks locked. That looks locked. That could be it. 10 seconds to go. Mcconway trying to punch his way out of the triangle. It seemed to work. It seemed to just alleviate a little bit of the pressure and open the squeeze a little. Oh, what a way to finish the round. End of the first round. There was a lot of blood stemming from the nose of Karl Mcconway. Again, a hallmark of his fighting style is that he seems to get his nose busted up quite a bit in his fights. Will that then impact upon his breathing going into the latter rounds? Yeah, well, the wrestling, of course, which is a style he really gravitates towards. Oh, that's a beautiful takedown. It's an exhausting style to fight with. It requires a lot of energy, and if you can't breathe through your nose, that's going to definitely have an effect on that gas tank. And he's got this fight to the ground, and he's got his opponent smashed in against the cage, and Quearney in a precarious position, although he's working hard to control the posture of his opponent, trying to spin and get an angle so he can maybe start working to get some reversals, get some sweeps, foot on the hip, trying to create that little space out to the side. But Mcconway just suffocating him, driving him straight into the cage, lining up with him again, trying to land ground and pound of his own. Quearney switching from the butterfly hook to the closed guard, foot on hip. But again, showing that experience is Mcconway, constantly staying nice and square in that safe position, taking no unnecessary risks. Mcconway just landing enough shots here, but needs to be wary of coming too wide with the angle with those shots, as we've seen how dangerous Quearney can be with the triangle. Yeah, that leg could easily come up over the shoulder.
We saw Paul Craig do it in the UFC recently. He was on the back and he purposely allowed his opponent to land some shots so that he would have the space to throw a leg up over the shoulder and work for that triangle. Openings present themselves when you move to strike, when you try to advance a position.
Trying to get in the work for that triangle. I'd like to see Quearney switch. He's messing around with the wrist grips there. I'd like to see him go a little bit more bicep. You seem to get a little bit more purchase with a bicep grip.
Definitely. He has not got a lot of space to work a jiu-jitsu game here in this corner. He's got a good stranglehold on his neck, but it has not connected his hands. Using it just to control his opponent's posture temporarily. Mcconway working to try and cause a little bit of damage.
And we can't quite see. It doesn't have the hands connected in. The biggest compliment I can pay Mcconway is that his game is not unlike a Chael Sonnen-esque approach. It wrestle heavy, land the strikes, but sometimes it does lend itself vulnerable to the submission attack of your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. Chael, of course, was a man who was caught in a lot of submissions after dominating rounds. It happened quite a bit throughout his career.
Doesn't have the space to switch over for the head-on triangle. May get it now if he has enough of a squeeze. Can't get it from the mount position. Abandons it. Takes the back. Mcconway landing the big strikes. And just relentless onslaught now from Mcconway, showing that the gas tank into the full mount.
Heavy hips.
Finishing the right strong.
His belly. Not something you want to do with the referee that close.
Hickey taking a long hard look at this hammer fist from Mcconway. Well, Quearney does get to the end of the second round.
Wow.
But we may have just seen a momentum shift in the fight in favour of Karl Mcconway.
Absolutely. All to play for here as we go into this third round. Querney bouncing on his feet, eager to get underway again.
Oh, big shot with the head kick. Oh, he wobbled him a little bit there. But that's something Karl Mcconway can do ad nauseum. He can take a shot and parlay it into a triangle, but needs to be wary here of the submission attempt.
Yeah, Querney's really tried with that Kimura grip, but it didn't go his way in the scramble. Mcconway has found himself passing into that side control with an underhook, with good control of his opponent's head.
Now he's trying to go knee on belly and try and get into the mount position. I'd like to see the hips a little bit lower from Mcconway. Knee on belly and just seamlessly into the mount.
And head and arm possibly, although he doesn't have the space on that side now to drop over and compress the position.
And this is where he started to go to work at the end of the second round. He's picked things right back up again. Just solidifying the position and going to work.
Yeah, this is his bread and butter, this top position. Querney in all sorts of problems here, and he's...
Oh, this could be it. If Mcconway pins his own head down to the mat to get a little bit more purchase on the submission, it could be game over.
Yeah, he might elect to step over to the side here, to his own left side, and flatten his hips to the mat and sprawl out, and again can't get the squeeze on that show.
Oh, scramble from Quearney.
Good work, Querney, getting back to the feet in that dominant position. Might have been better trying to keep the fight on the floor in the top position. Lands a nice shot in the scramble. Dives on the neck, it's not really there.
Needs to get his right leg free, but intelligent work from Mcconway. He grabs around the ankle of the leg of Quearney to prevent him from throwing up that triangle.
Kills the triangle in one step. Beautiful defense. It's the problem with jiu-jitsu fighters in the cage. Sometimes they favour going to the back quite easily, will accept it a little easier because they're dangerous from there, but in an MMA setting...
Yeah, well, you're mixing in the strikes, you're mixing in the fact that it's a 3-minute round in unified amateur rules. You don't have that time to work.
Bloody. It's difficult. It's difficult to really get those finishes.
Sweaty, bloody and difficult. My Tinder bio right there, Paul.
That knee is coming up over the shoulder again. He's fishing for that triangle again.
Got the wrist control. You need to see Mcconway rule that wrist out.
Yeah. Yeah, we know what Querney's looking for. We can see it a mile away. Question is, can the opponent, can Mcconway stifle it? That's all he's got to do, you'd imagine, to eke out this victory. Brings the hips up now, so he's able to drive a little more force down, pin his opponent to the floor. Can land some bombs from here to finish the round.
Hail Mary attempted submission there from Quearney, but it's been a fantastic fight from both men.
Oof.